So with trust broken, will they still ally with Ozzy? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 8 of Scavengers Reign. And yeah, a lot of crazy things went down last time. We had the entire help from the lady who helped Sam recover and everything, but she ended up getting puppeteered by this giant creature from the planet, this parasitic creature, and it's unclear how long she had been controlled and like exactly like what her goals in helping were and everything. I don't know the whole story there, but either way, before Sam and Ursula escaped, Sam did manage to get healed up, and so he's good again. Meanwhile, we had the mining crew come down. I think the leader's name, by diplomatic breathing technique, was Chris, but I don't remember the other two's names. They all came down because of the message from Ozzy. They met with Ozzy and made a deal. It's like, okay, we harvest things from the ship, and we'll get you and anyone else who wants to get off this planet off. And we'll drop you off at the nearest station or whatever it was. And Ozzy's like, oh yeah, that's a great deal. I'll take that. But Hollow, meanwhile, destroyed the ship while they were gone. So when they got back, they found it just in ruins. And although Ozzy was very clearly distressed and horrified by this, the rest of the crew, especially Chris, looked back at her and was like, can we trust her? Do we know this is going to work out? So it's going to be hard to try and like keep trust with shit like this going down. The fact, though, is that they seemed like they were, like, mildly inconvenienced, the crew. Their reactions to the ship burning and everything weren't, like, massive, horrified reactions. Which implies to me that they have another way off. Whether they have a bigger ship that can send, like, some kind of a smaller pod to rescue them or something else, I don't know. Or maybe the bigger ship can just come down. I don't know what the deal is, but they have an option if they're reacting like this, which is barely reacting at all. Also, and I want to get this name right, I found out the actress who plays Ozzy, let me see if I can find her name here. Wunmi Mosaku. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Um, I never recognized the name or anything, but I found out this is the actress who plays the one character in the Loki series for the MCU who also appears in the movie Deadpool and Wolverine. Hunter B5 or something like that. She ends up leading the TVA. I can't remember her name otherwise. Um, but yeah, she it's the same actress who plays her, but she was also just in Sinners. She was Smoke's ex, I guess you could say. Um but yeah, she was like one of the big characters in Sinners and did obviously an amazing job. Um and it's like I didn't recognize the name when I was like watching Sinners and everything, and I think I saw the credits for that or whatever. I didn't recognize the name there. I didn't recognize the name here. It's like it's just a name that just kind of flew over my head at every point. But I heard someone like talk about while they were doing a reaction to Sinners that she was like from Deadpool and Wolverine. And so when I looked it up, I also saw that she was from Scavengers Reign. And it's like, oh, I would not have realized that by the voice, though, because the performance is very different. Obviously, in Sinners, she's doing a bit of an accent because of the time period it takes place in, the location and time period. And her performance in Loki and Deadpool and Wolverine is also just very different. They're very different performances in terms of voice and, physical acting for the live action stuff. Here, it's just like we just are like talking about the voice, but still, it's like I wouldn't have really guessed that. But like I went back and listened to her speak from last episode. It's like I can hear it. I can definitely hear it now that I know. And isn't that always the case? It's like once you find out someone voices someone, it's like, oh, you can just never stop hearing it. It's like Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. The Emperor, who's only in like the very beginning of the game, is voiced by Sir Patrick Stewart. The Sir Patrick Stewart. And it's like, when you don't know that, it's like, oh, he sounds kind of familiar. But when you know, it's like, you can't unhear it. It's so obvious. And considering he gives, like, the entire, like, introduction to the game, the entire, like, intro speech to the game, both in the original and the recent remaster, it's like, you very much get to hear his voice, and you very much get to recognize it. But it's just like that. It's like when you don't know, it's like, yeah, you might recognize it a little bit. You might like find it a little familiar. But once you know, and you can never unhear it. So yeah, it's just, that was really interesting to find out. I don't know about any of the other VAs in this, like what else they might have done. That's the only one that like I just found out about because of Sinners and all of that. But yeah. I guess we're just gonna get into this episode and see what happens next. So let's check it out. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Well, before we begin with spoilers, I did want to look up more of the cast. Because of recognizing Wunmi Masaku, I wanted to see like if I knew any of the other VAs from anything. So Ursula is voiced by Sunita Mani, who apparently was in Mr. Robot and Glow. But I know her from the recent horror movie, A24 film, Death of a Unicorn. She was in that. Levi and Fiona are voiced by Alia Shawkat, who apparently was in Arrested Development, according to this. I don't recognize her by like what she looks like, but let's see if there's anything else in here I would know her from. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, Pee-wee's Big Holiday. Random, but yeah. I don't recognize the character name, so probably not just a name I would like hugely know. Of course, I don't remember much from that. Any show stuff? Apparently she voiced in Robot Chicken. She's in a couple episodes of Adventure Time as a character named Charlie. I'm not sure if I know that character offhand. And apparently she's in a couple episodes of Severance. Haven't seen that, though. Sam is Bob Stevenson, who is apparently in the CBS series Jericho, which I've heard of but never seen. Oh, he was a character named Ted and the pilot in the movie Con Air, which we reacted to on this channel. Okay. He was an airport security officer in Fight Club. That's just such a random role, but okay. I have seen Fight Club. Anything I would know. Not. Looks like he's been in a lot. He was apparently in an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's been in a lot, but nothing I'm really recognizing. Or nothing I would recognize him from. Okay. Um. Wait a minute. Okay, in episode 5, there was a character named Charlie, the one who, like, woke up but ended up being killed, like, same episode and everything. Apparently, he was voiced by Skylar Gisondo, who's been in a bunch of stuff. And I think he's Jimmy Olsen in the upcoming Superman movie, right? But, like, he was Tommy Doyle in Halloween 2007. Um, he was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb. Yeah, he's Jimmy Olsen in Superman. He was in an episode of Monk. He was in an episode of House. An episode of Drake and Josh. A lot of stuff I've seen. Um, oh yeah, he was young Sean in Psych. That's who he was in Psych. Okay, he was young Sean, yeah. Oh, and yeah, he was Max in The Quarry. He absolutely was Max in The Quarry. For those who don't know, The Quarry is a video game by Supermassive. They're the same people who made Until Dawn. It's kind of a spiritual successor to Until Dawn. And it's a werewolf game. It's amazing. It's fantastic. He was absolutely Max. Um, okay, so Chris is Pollyanna McIntosh. Um, bu- 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 I don't recognize you. Let's see if there's anything that I would know you from. I'm not seeing anything. In terms of movies, let's check shows. Oh, apparently she was in a lot of The Walking Dead. That way past where I got, though. Recurring character in season 7, starring in seasons 8 and 9. 15 episodes total. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Interesting. Oh, shit. Okay, I do know her from something. She was Tanta Prav in the video game Forspoken. Um, okay. Yeah, I definitely recognize her then. Terrence was Freddy Rodriguez. Uh, I guess he was in Planet Terror? Ugly Betty. Anything I would know? Lady in the Water. I think I saw that. Oh, he was in Bottle Shock with Alan Rickman. Oh, I saw that movie. Okay. Oh, well, apparently he's in VHS 85, which I guess when we get to that, with our VHS reactions, if I even remember that at that point. He was in an episode of Static Shock, Danny Phantom, 5 episodes of Teen Titans, as Mas y Menos? Oh, yeah, the little plus and minus Speedy kids. Yeah, I remember them. Apparently a big role in Generator Rex. Never saw that one. Young Justice. Eldorado Jr. Eduardo Dorado Jr. Oh, he was Miguel O'Hara in Ultimate Spider-Man. That's fun. Huh. Don't really know him for anything else. Barry is Dash Williams, but there's no like Wikipedia thing, so he probably hasn't done much. Um. Oh, also apparently the healer, the woman that healed Samanol, has a name. Apparently it's Masha, and that's Masha King voicing her. Although she doesn't really have much voice roles, but still. Okay. So yeah, not really too much, but there are some voices there I know. Um, just not like any huge roles and everything. Skylar Gisondo, I think, is probably the biggest name in there outside of Wunmi Masaku. Either way, this was a very interesting episode. We didn't touch on Hollow at all. Like, we obviously had the aftermath of that still, but we didn't actually see Hollow in this one. We had two plot lines going on. We had Ozzy and the crew trying to get to the wreckage of the Demeter because it's their only hope to get off the planet now, which that surprises me based on their reactions to their ship burning last time. It seemed like very casual, like they had another way off. But apparently, I guess they were just thinking about like getting off using the Demeter and using the extra ship from that or whatever. So I guess that's a possibility still. But yeah, it's it's like showcasing these characters and like what they're going through, and we can sense a bit of distrust still between Chris and Ozzy specifically, but we also focus a lot on Terrence and Barry in this episode. And we see that Barry has this recorder that he got from Terrence. Barry seems to be autistic. And again, I say that as someone who is autistic and who has had similar symptoms to what we see Barry doing in this episode, and has known like other autistic people who have had like more severe symptoms that definitely seem to manifest in this kind of way. One symptom that a lot of autistic people tend to have is something called stimming, which basically kind of amounts to like some kind of physical activity or whatnot that will like keep you focused in a way. It's hard to explain. As an example, and I've talked about this before, like I play with rubber bands or pieces of rubber bands in this case, but like I'll stretch them in my fingers and everything and roll them around. And I do this off camera. Like I do it like down below here, so you guys don't typically see it. But like sometimes I'll like raise my hand to scratch and it'll be in my fingers like this. Um, and I have like a full rubber band over here too. But like sometimes I'll even like take my nail clippers here and I'll like click them around. I don't usually do that on when I'm recording, because obviously the noise. But sometimes I've done that too, and sometimes I just like crack my fingers, which we saw Barry do. Um, but we also saw that he was like very methodically like putting these things together. Um, like with the twisting and pushing in and everything, and he was like very methodically going through like the steps of it, and that very much read to me as like an autistic kind of like pattern recognition and pattern implementation. So and with the way he kind of acts, he's kind of almost childish as well. He acts very childish. He doesn't seem to understand certain like dangers and whatnot. He doesn't seem to like understand the kind of situations he's in, like always using his recorder at inopportune times and stuff. And Terrence, like Chris, I think was saying like something along the lines of Terrence was kind of enabling him and everything, which is kind of true. But it's very clear that Terrence and him were kind of like good friends, and so it's like he was just trying to be nice to him because he clearly understood. Like apparently Barry went through some heavy shit, and um, maybe it's kind of implying that his mind kind of broke because of that. But again, it still very much reads as autistic to me. But maybe that's the point. Maybe it can be read in different ways, depending on the viewer, and it allows it to like be kind of interpreted differently. Um, but either way, he seems like he's trying to protect and help and care for Barry. But Chris is more of like a no nonsense type of person. She's very strict and by the numbers, and she did win the contest to determine the leader. So to be fair, they are supposed to be listening to her. But Terrence is like so protective of Barry, and so like even when she like throws his recorder away, like he goes to go get it for him because he just wants to like be there for him. And it's like there's possibility of like maybe something having happened in Terrence's past that makes him like this protective and caring. Because people like people can be that way generally, but a lot of times people who are like this notably so towards like a person who's especially someone who's going through some kind of disorder or mental problem or whatnot, a lot of times it can manifest because that person themselves has had like some kind of issue with like a family member or friends in the past, and so they want to like not become like that and instead be better, instead be nicer and kinder and gentler. And so that it's possible, but we don't have any context for that at all. We have no evidence of that, so can't really say. But while getting it back, we see that Terrence is killed by this like vine trap thing. It's obviously some kind of plant life defense mechanism. But yeah, it completely destroys him. It's like you see how it twists his body up, just obliterates his bones. Like he is crushed. And he's like physically alive, still technically holding on. But Chris was entirely in the right to mercy kill him. He was so in probably such exceptional pain. And like remember, before she killed him, she also did the breathing exercise with him to calm him down and like try to help him like relax. It was very clear that she was super upset by what happened to him, but she really did want to protect him. She did want to keep him from being in too much pain for too long. She knew he was going to die. She knew there was no getting past that. So she decided to end his suffering. And again, I fully agree with that decision. Like, Ozzy was shocked by it, clearly. Ozzy was, like, shocked and upset, but Chris made the right call. And then we see how Barry is super upset by it afterwards, even so much as destroying the recorder because of it having, Terrence's voice on it. It's like, yeah, it's a very tense storyline going on there. And I'm not surprised that one of them died. Like, I was honestly expecting at least one of them to die, and I honestly believe that Barry or Chris could, or both could still also die. Ozzy, I think, is one of the very few who I think is like safe. I think she has plot armor, even more than like Ursula and Sam. I think like one or both of them could die. And honestly, with Sam being like super aggressively infected by this parasite, I think he probably will. But let's get into that. So Sam and Ursula's plotline basically has them, continuing to travel towards the Demeter. Sam is not getting tired. He's like in top physical condition and just keeps going. And he's not hungry. He's not eating either. But Ursula, she is going through all this. So she has to rest. And while she's resting at one point, while they come to this, I guess you would kind of call it an oasis-like area. Sam starts like anxiously moving around because he can't keep still. He tries to rest at first, but he can't keep still. He eventually starts creating like these mud pillars, and it eventually forms into like he creates this mud hut. And when Ursula asks about it later, he basically just says he's creating a shelter for them to stay the night. But it's like that obviously seems otherwise. But he's like creating all this. He's gathering stuff from underwater. These glowing like they almost look like sea mines, but obviously they're like not. They're just some kind of weird alien rock thing. Um, or maybe it's a plant or animal. I don't know. With this world, it's hard to say. But he's gathering those, and he takes a seed from his chest without even seeming to like, or not from his chest, but he like regurgitates it, like Moshi or whatever it was. I just had looked it up, but the woman did. She did that and used it to help him, but he puts it inside the wall of the place. And he doesn't seem to entirely realize like what he's doing. He's kind of acting almost on autopilot. And he's able to respond to Ursula and he's talking, but it's like he's again, it's like he's being controlled and just isn't quite like comprehending that. And we soon find out that apparently is what is happening. Because when Ursula points out that something's wrong with his chest, he notices it and like kind of like, what the fuck is that? He opens his chest up like a flap, which is fucking wild of a visual. And we see the parasite in him. So that seed that the woman planted in him must have been like an egg for this parasite. And the reason why the parasite that was like controlling her didn't like attack or kill him was probably because it sensed that it had a spawn within him already. And so it didn't need to do anything. That's the vibe I got from that. But we see the parasite inside of him, and obviously he's freaked out about this because he still has sense of self. He is able to like notice things. It's just he hasn't noticed that what he's doing is weird. Because again, he's being partially controlled. But it's not like it hasn't taken full control over him like it did with this woman. Like the woman, it seems like she has full control having been taken from her, and she's just completely under the control of the parasite at this point. But we see it's different with him. Now, I don't know if that means we're going to be able to save him. I don't know. Or if, like, killing the parasite at this point will kill him. We'll have to see. But yeah, it's pretty crazy what's going on here. And so when he spit up the seed and put it into the wall, I assume that was like another, egg and everything. So it's interesting. The parasite can like gestate the eggs inside the host's body, which I can see that. That makes sense. And they can put it inside another person, but they also can put it inside like a wall. Like a wall of mud? What does that do? Can it be able to grow inside the wall of mud still? Or maybe the parasite was planning to put it in Ursula and it was like being put there like temporarily. I could believe that. But yeah, this is we're definitely working towards some big climaxes. Like things are getting more intense and more scary and more weird and creepy. So I'm very curious as to like how this is going to go down. Will Chris and not Terrence, Barry survive? Or will Ozzy be left on her own again? And what's going to happen with her? What happens to the guy whose name I can never remember, who is inside Hollow? It's going to bother me again. I feel like I look this up every episode at this point because I can never remember his name. Cayman. By the way, I didn't mention Cayman's VA. His VA is Ted Travelstead, but also does not have a Wikipedia page I can look up here, so I don't know. But is Cayman going to be able to escape Hollow, or is Cayman going to just become completely one with Hollow? Are they both going to end up being killed in the end? I don't know. And what is going to happen with Sam and Ursula? Will Sam die? Will both of them end up dying? Will both of them just end up infected in the end? And go on continuing to be, you know, parasitic hosts? We don't know. There's a lot that is being set up here. And I honestly do not know what kind of direction this is going. Especially since, and I mentioned this like last episode too, but because this series was canceled, I don't know if this is going to have like a conclusive ending to any degree. I can't tell at this point. Because it's like, if there was like a planned season 2, it could have been like for other stuff too. It's like, I don't know. At this point, I just don't know. Because you could have easily made a season 2 like with different characters, but I don't know if this like fully closes everything out with this set of characters. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. So, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Scavengers Reign, and for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.